Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Post-fight here at the Rise of Champions. Chris Hoekstra alongside Dean Midhat, my commentary partner as well as promoter, and the head honcho, Brad Pickett. Brad, there was so much to talk about tonight. It was our second event. So many memorable moments.
Absolutely. I remember our first event. I was really happy with how the fights turned out. And tonight, guys, they delivered again. You know, when you put down these fights on paper, I try to match them very evenly to have competitive fights, but still, you never know how the fight's going to go. And tonight, guys, I was impressed with everyone from the bottom of the card to the top of the card. It was a great night.
From the beginning, really, to the end, there was well-matched fights, competitive fights with all the ingredients, something for everybody, from the grappling to the striking. Dean, there were a few shocking moments, though, all around. Your highlights?
The highlight of my night would probably be the Marius Bogdan versus the Luther fight. He was under some adversity and he came back with that massive uppercut, dropped him and won the fight. I was so impressed with that. Brilliant matchmaking. And for him to come back like that, I love watching fights like that.
Brad, obviously, though, we talk about the matches. We've got to talk about the awards. We've got to talk about the bonus finishes. Let's talk for the very first, and it was early in the fight card, fight of the night.
Well, for me, fight night has to be Janice and Josh Herman. Those two guys, back and forth, were beating each other from the first bell to the last bell. You know, it was a great performance for both guys. Shame that one of them had to lose. You know, you definitely see these guys back on the show because this is what it's all about, though, bringing those sort of fighters in there. Both guys making their debut and coming away with fight of the night shows what the show's about.
Janusz Wolochowski taking on Josh and Dean. Those were two guys who you wouldn't have guessed were making their complete amateur debut on a big stage. They showed a lot of heart, determination, and composure.
When it came down to it, they both delivered. They were both getting on through the rounds. They were noticeably tired, but they still went through, dug in real deep, and came through in the end. Beautiful fight.
KO of the night. I would have said we had it all figured out until the main event. Brad, your thoughts on what happened with Shipman?
Well, obviously, this fight started off, you know, back and forth already. Shipman got an early takedown, and then he was cut. You know, you didn't know where it was going to go, and then he just threw this massive overhand right from anywhere. No, man, and boom, Shipman fell down like a tree. No, sorry. Craig White fell down like a tree. It landed perfectly, and, you know, ref had to come in and stop it, and it was a good job, you know, but one hell of a knockout.
But Shipman actually got cracked by that head kick, Dean. We were sitting there at ringside and thought that might have been the defining shot.
It looked like he was on Wobble Street for a while, but a level of fight of that, they both had belts in other organizations, so they are the cream of the crop. So that's not going to falter them. They come over adversity, they come through, get their equilibriums back, and get straight back to it.
And everybody's been talking about the Basharat brothers tonight. But, Brad, when we talk about the submission of the night, there's clearly one winner among those two.
Well, of course, I was always going on about tonight about the Basharat brothers. I think both of them have very bright futures within this sport. And obviously, Javid Basharat won a bonus last time to submission on the night. But his younger brother, making his amateur debut, won submission on tonight. It was a really good dash choke and impressive, a very impressive finish by a young guy.
The way that he committed to that, Dean, and threaded that arm under was just like lightning, and really par for the course as far as all the seamless transitions that we've seen from these guys.
I think it's evident from their training. He used a great job and used his hips to move back to enable that space to slip that arm in, coupled with the sweat throughout the rounds, really helped to sink that dash choke in beautifully.
It was an incredible night all around. Brad, I know we've got a lot planned for the audience next time around here at the Rise of Champions. What can we expect more of?
Obviously, hopefully, the matchmaker will get paid enough. Well, it's me, I don't get paid at all. But obviously, I'll go straight back to the drawing board and try and get more competitive matches coming up. Looking to do our next show in October. Haven't got a date nailed in yet, but we're looking around October time. And yeah, beware. You know, we're going to have some more talented guys on this card.
You can expect more of the same absolutely ballistic ingredients. We've got a real show coming up here in the fall. Stay tuned. Rise of the Champions. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. For One Punch Brad Pickett, myself, Chris Hoekstra, my partner, as always, Dean Midhat. Good night from London.